Morning. How's it going, folks? So, last night, just got home. I ended up eating, I had sweet potato with broccoli and steak mince, 12% steak mince. Just needed to get a little bit more fat in the diet, so I went a little bit fatty with the foods, but not bothered about that. Anyway, and got spanked yesterday at golf. Was playing really well, and then all of a sudden the last 3 holes kind of just fell away. But this morning, this week I've set my alarm at 10 to 6, and every single day this week I have woken up at 5:30 or earlier. So I'm very motivated, very kind of switched on right now, and how could I not be when the weather's like this? It's perfect this morning, so I'm just getting out for a nice power walk. I'm going to be going for about an hour and 15 minutes, just because I've got an audio book that I'm listening to, Gary Vaynerchuk's Crushing It. If you haven't listened to it or heard it, go head over to Audible and get it downloaded on there and listen to that. It's good work. So I'm going to get on with this. I'll catch you guys in the next clip. Today we are going to Bodypower. Right, folks, so I'm hoping that this is the last day I'm going to be using my phone for videoing, but here's the outfit for Bodypower. Ignore the headphone or the cable. So I've got a Gymshark top on. Don't tell people at Bodypower because Gymshark aren't there. So Gymshark top, Gymshark pants, the Under Armour trainers. Just ignore those. So yeah, this is how we're looking for today. Feeling pretty excited, pretty good. I'm looking forward to kind of just getting in the expo and kind of meeting people. I also need to pick up my ticket as well. You need to buy a ticket? Well, we're not prepared right now. We are not prepared. Anyway, Tim Hanneman has picked me up and we are on our way to Bodypower. He's also got a Bang drink. I've never had this before, but there's L-arginine, B vitamins, amino acids, and some caffeine in there. So we're going to chug on this and get the Bodypower. Okay, my cheeks look very thin. Ugh. That's what happens when you diet, I guess, isn't it? Right, so we are here, Bodypower. Tim drove. I'm going to get the parking. Walking down now, and sun is shining. Beautiful day. Really looking forward to.
That's not a thing. But nah, he was, and he, you know, his right hand is messed up. He can't really throw it hard anymore. He breaks it every time he does. I mean, 20 years of battle, yeah, you're not going to be the same. So yeah, so I don't really accept that the best. I feel like that's a cop out when people say he's the greatest defensive boxer. Like, nah, he's one of the greatest.
Right, folks, so we've been here about an hour and a half, and Tim's had an argument. I walked off. Not from Tim, because we had an argument, but Tim had an argument. And I'm trying to find Christian Guzman, but one thing I'm noticing is none of the athletes smile. Why the fuck is that? They've got one of the best jobs in the world, and they're not happy about it. Show gratefulness. So we did all that walking around. We went to a few stands, saw a few people. Michelle Lewin was amazing. Although she doesn't speak much English, so it's kind of difficult talking to her, but she was really cool, really sound, and we actually might be on BBC, the TVs, on the news. We also, who else did we see? Oh yeah, James Smith, who's really cool, and just kind of thanked him for what he's done in the industry. Right now though, it's time to get home and get some food, because we've been walking all day, and Tim's not eating anything, so I'm a little worried about him. Do you like the fact that I get worried about you? Someone cares, Tim. Someone cares. Thanks, Andrew. Finally got back. Was at home for about maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I've drunk a Bang, which is a caffeine drink with L-arginine, kind of BCAA, stuff like that. So it's BCAA supplement drink with some caffeine in. I'm now going to hit just an ab workout. So on my off days, I typically do low carb, just to obviously save some kind of carbs. Obviously I'm not using them when I'm on off days, so I want to make sure that I'm kind of leaving the muscles just to kind of recover. The other thing with increasing my fats, I find just got a little bit better light out here, so I figured I'd come back outside. I find that when I have more fats, I kind of just completely. When I have more fats, I kind of regulate my hormones a little bit better. I manage to drop my carbs down, so I have better insulin response when I do put them back up. Obviously it gets back into the muscle a little bit quicker. The glycogen stores are depleted into the muscle, so when they go back in, it kind of gives a little bit more of a response. Right then, enough waffling. It's been a minute long clip. I am now going to hit an ab workout. So these are kind of the things that I'll do for my abs. I'm going to hit from 4 different angles. It'll be 4 different movements, and I'm going to do it in a circuit fashion. I'm going to do 5 sets of each one, but right now I'm going to video it, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So I did say I'd do a ab workout, and I'm kind of just going to do a voiceover simply because I can actually talk about the exercise a little bit more. So I started with these decline bench leg raises. Now I've written 3 to 5 sets, and the reason why I've done that is because if you're not accustomed to doing 5 sets, it's going to take you a very long time, and you might actually stimulate the muscle a little bit too much and not be able to move, and that's not the point of it. One thing I focus on with this movement is I try and keep my lower back touching the bench, and having a slight bend in the knees allows me to keep more tension in my stomach rather than in my hip flexors. A lot of people, when they do leg raises and they've got the legs straight, they tend to use the quads, kind of the hip flexor that connects the front of the thigh into the lower back, and they're pulling with their legs rather than letting the lower abs do the work. The other thing that I'm focusing on here is really trying to round my kind of hips underneath and bringing my knees in towards my chest. The next exercise I was going on to in the circuit was the Swiss ball crunches or sit-ups. So one thing that I look for here is kind of making sure that I'm getting a good stretch through my abs and kind of through the stomach wall, simply because as I then come up I can feel a good contraction. Now you saw me just put my hand onto my stomach there, and that's because I want to be able to feel the tension and feel the stomach doing the work, and when you do that you'll actually feel that you're actually getting a lot more out of the exercise. So again, 3 to 5 sets on here, really focused on working the muscle. If you can't do 5 sets, don't worry, just go for as many as you can. If you can't do 15 to 20 reps, again, don't worry, just do as many as you can, making sure that you're fatiguing the right position. You can pop your hand on the stomach and get that stomach wall working. So here I did Swiss ball side crunches. So this is similar to the crunches we've just done, but it's focusing more on the sides. Some people like to do kind of like Russian twists for the obliques, or the internal external obliques, should I say. When you look at the kind of musculature of where they kind of sit, where they kind of crunch from, this movement right here I find to be very, very beneficial. The other thing I've done is I've held one hand onto a cable and I've done like a standing cable crunch. It's not a very big movement, but it's getting the muscles to work massively, so it's a big positive. Again, 3 to 5 sets depending on your ability, but you'll see that the muscles were working very, very tough. And finally, to finish with just a Swiss ball plank. Now I'm not trying to blow my own horn here, but I'm very comfortable with a plank off the floor. You can do single leg planks, you can do single arm planks, you can then throw up different variations, but I wanted to go with the Swiss ball because the imbalance of the Swiss ball and it wobbling around places a lot more stress onto the core. Now from here what I did is started to go with a jackknife or a saw movement where you're pushing the elbows forward and back, places a lot more stress onto the core. What I'm doing here is I'm really focusing on squeezing my butt as hard as I can, focusing on squeezing my stomach as hard as I can, and then from there just perform the movement with my shoulders. When you take the elbows further out past shoulder point, you actually place a lot more stress onto the top of the stomach. Here I'm rotating, so it's again a different variable where I'm hitting the stomach. The one thing I just quickly want to say is, when I went to Bodypower, I was very annoyed at the fact that all these athletes didn't smile and they weren't interacting and engaging with people and making the experience a lot better, which is quite frustrating. But anyway, digress. one day I want to be there and I want to create that change in people's lives. Workout done. I'm now at home, chilling on the sofa, watching a movie, and I'm probably going to leave it there for today's video. Hope you enjoyed Bodypower and the ab workout, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.